Welcome to week 6. This week we're going to discuss one of the most important things you can do for yourself and why it is important. We're going to discuss how important are sleep and rest. So what exactly are you doing when you sleep? You'd be very surprised to find out how busy you are when you're sound asleep. When you're asleep, your intelligent and efficient body is working diligently to keep you alive. When you're awake and busy during the day, your body is working to keep you moving. Your heart's beating, your lungs are breathing in oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide, your blood is being circulated, your food is being digested, nutrients are coursing through your body, and so very many other things are going on when you're awake. But what happens when you go to bed at night and drift off to dreamland? Repair and restoration. That's what happens when you sleep. What does sleep do? Sleep affects how you look, feel, and function every day. It improves your quality of life, your mood, your concentration. It improves every function of your body. So while you're asleep, this is when your body stops focusing on what you're doing and keeping you moving, and it starts focusing on itself. It takes your time of rest and uses it to work. It is at this time that your body repairs any damage that you've done to it from the day you've just had. It fights off all the germs you've picked up during the day, and it digests the food you've been eating, repairs and builds muscle, and strengthens your memory while you're asleep. Once you've fallen asleep, you are no longer aware of your surroundings. Your breathing and your heart rate slow down and regulate, and your body temperature cools down just a little bit. Your blood pressure drops a little and your muscles relax. Your blood supply to your muscles increases, and it causes tissue growth and repair to take place. Growth hormones are released, so when you're sleeping, this is when you're doing your most of your growing. It provides energy to the brain, and your brain becomes active and dreams start. Your eyes dart back and forth and you become immobile as signals to your muscles are turned off. Sleep also helps your body to balance your hunger hormones. These are ghrelin and leptin, and while you're asleep, your body is able to boost its own immune system so that it's able to fight off colds and flus and diseases so much more efficiently. So what happens to you if you don't get enough sleep every night? Not getting enough sleep can affect your overall mood. It can cause you to become irritable at the drop of a hat. It can cause depression. Lack of sleep can increase your risk of high blood pressure or heart disease, and it most definitely can increase your risk for obesity because, as I mentioned in the previous slide, getting enough sleep every night, this is when your body regulates your hunger hormones. And if your hunger hormones are out of whack, it can cause you to overeat, which causes obesity. It can increase your risk for diabetes, heart attack, or stroke, and it may cause you to make mistakes, or it could cause you to have an accident, because when you're overtired, you're not paying as close attention to your surroundings or what you're doing as well as you do when you've gotten enough rest. And it ages your skin. It can give you puffy eyes, dark circles, and increase the fine lines on your face. And lack of sleep can cause impaired judgment because you're not paying attention to the things that are going on around you. Lack of sleep also has a very big effect on your memory. It is while you're sleeping that your brain makes the connections between the things that you learned today and your memory banks. So sleep deprivation has a negative effect on both short and long-term memory, where getting enough sleep and getting enough good rest every day has a positive effect on your brain's ability to make the connections between the things that you learned that day and your memory banks. Sleep deprivation also has an effect on your immune system. It weakens your immune system and you become more likely to catch a cold or some other virus. Whereas if you do get enough sleep at night, your immune system is very strong and it will help your body to fight off these germs that attack you on a daily basis. Sleep deprivation has a most definite effect on your mood. It can cause you to become over-emotional and highly irritable. If sleep deprivation lasts for a while, it can also lead to depression or anxiety, or both. So it's very important that you get enough sleep every day so that you are able to better control your moods and your anxieties. Sleep deprivation actually has quite a large effect on how your body releases insulin. So yes, it does have an effect on whether or not you could get diabetes down the road. People who don't get enough sleep have higher blood sugar levels and are at a higher risk for type 2 diabetes. Now the difference between type 2 and type 1 diabetes, I'm not sure if you know. Type 2 diabetes is something that you obtain in your life. That means it's something that you get. It is where your pancreas is inefficient at handling insulin, and your body is inefficient at handling insulin. Type 1 diabetes is when your pancreas, which is the part of your body that creates insulin, type 1 diabetes is where your body's pancreas basically dies and your body no longer produces insulin at all, so you have to have insulin injections and monitor your blood sugar levels all day, every day, for the rest of your life. Type 2 diabetes can be reversed. Type 1 diabetes cannot. Sleep deprivation has an effect on your balance and coordination, and you may fall or have more accidents than you normally would. Drowsy people tend to have more accidents and injuries due to a lack of attention span. Sleep deprivation also causes an increased blood pressure and inflammation in the body, which both of those play a major role in heart disease. So if you're not getting enough rest at night, you are increasing your risk of heart disease. Whereas if you get plenty of rest and plenty of sleep at night, your blood pressure will lower to a normal level, hopefully, and your body won't have nearly as much inflammation in it as it would if you are sleep deprived. Okay, this is what I was talking about earlier too. Sleep deprivation has an effect on weight gain and obesity. The hormones that are released during sleep that regulate your appetite or tell your body when you're full and when you're hungry become out of balance, which may cause you to overeat. Ghrelin, the ghrelin hormone, tells you when you're hungry. Your leptin hormone tells you when you're full. If these are out of whack, you may feel hungry more often, and your body may not be able to tell you when you are actually full. I'm sure you have experienced this. When you're drowsy, your creativity, concentration, and ability to problem solve are lacking because your attention span just isn't there, and your ability to maintain the things that you've learned just isn't there if you are not getting enough sleep. It's pretty obvious that you need sleep, isn't it? Your body needs to heal itself and restore its balance. Without enough sleep, your body and mind won't function properly. And as I've mentioned before, if your brain isn't functioning properly, your body won't function properly either. So you need to get enough sleep. Some of the very obvious signs of sleep deprivation are you are excessively tired, you're yawning a lot, you're easily irritable, and you feel fatigued during the day. And one of the main ones is you just can't concentrate. So get your sleep. It's very, very important to your health. You may think that if you're sleep deprived, you'll just grab a cup of coffee in the morning or some other caffeinated beverage like a Red Bull or whatever, and it will help you get through the day. Well, no amount of caffeine will override your body's need for sleep. Caffeine actually will make sleep deprivation worse because it will keep you awake at night, which it's the vicious cycle again. You're not getting enough sleep, you drink caffeine during the day, it keeps you up at night, so you're not getting enough sleep. And it starts all over again. If you have sleep deprivation for a long period of time or it's chronic, that's called insomnia. You could start having hallucinations due to insomnia. You could develop impulsive behavior, which means you do things without thinking. You could develop anxiety, depression, paranoia. You could even start having suicidal thoughts if your sleep deprivation becomes chronic or becomes insomnia. If this is the case, and you haven't slept well for a very long time, you need to talk to your parents, and you need to maybe go see a doctor, and he could help you to figure out what it is that's causing it. But there is an underlying issue. If it becomes insomnia, you do have an underlying issue that needs to be addressed. Okay, parents, believe it or not, teenagers need about 8 to 10 hours of sleep every night. It's during that time that their bodies and minds get rejuvenated for the next day. And as I mentioned in the previous slide, this is the time when your teenager's brain makes the connection between what it has obtained during the day, what it has learned during the day, and the memory banks. So getting enough sleep or not getting enough sleep makes a big difference in whether or not your brain is able to send what it has learned to its long-term memory. So get your rest. The night before a big test, you need to make sure you get a good night's sleep. When you're sleeping, your brain makes pathways between nerve cells in the brain that help you remember the new information you've learned. So it is very important to, while you're studying, to make sure that you're drinking the water that you need, and you need to make sure that you get enough rest the night before any big exam. What can you do so that you will fall asleep easier at night and make sure that you get enough sleep? Well, limit naps during the day. The later in the day that you fall asleep or take a nap, the harder it's going to be for you to fall asleep at night when you should be sleeping. Don't drink caffeine in the afternoon or evening. It's just going to keep you awake at night, and getting to sleep will become a battle. Go to bed at the same time every night. This is usually where the teenagers start to moan and groan. I know that there will be times when it'll be just impossible to go to sleep at the same time every night, but try your best to make sure that you're in bed, especially during the week, at the same time every night, and wake up at the same time every morning. Yeah, I hear more moaning and groaning going on. I wake up at 6 o'clock every day, regardless of what day of the week it is. I have trained my body to get up at 6 a.m. every day. It doesn't matter what time I go to sleep. If I don't go to bed till 2 a.m., my eyes pop open at 6 a.m. every day. About an hour before bed, do something that relaxes you. Read, take a warm bath, something like that. But stay off your phone, your tablet, or your computer, really any device that stimulates your brain to remain active. And avoid eating heavy meals 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. It causes indigestion when you're trying to sleep, and it makes it more difficult for your body to digest. And get regular exercise, just not close to bedtime, because getting exercise increases your adrenaline output, which means that you have more energy. So exercising close to bedtime is going to make it difficult to fall asleep. But if you're getting regular exercise during the day, falling asleep at night will become so much easier. So that's it for today. The moral of this week's module is you need your rest if you want to function properly. Listen to your body. If it's telling you that you're tired, don't fight it. If your body is telling you that you need to sit down and rest, then sit down and rest. Fighting your body will only do more harm than good. This week's How It's Made video is How It's Made Ketchup. And this week's short manner